Can you compare gym metrics when you were using our free content to your metrics in the current period when you're working with a mentor? What has changed?
The month before we started the mentorship, we are at 101 members. Our arm was 100 pounds. Our leg was 6.2, and then our revenue was 7,500 pounds a month. Looking at today, so we're at 115 members now. Our arm is at 140, leg is at 16, and our revenue now is at 15.2, so 15,220.
Free resources for gym owners. We produce mountains of them. It's part of the no gym left behind philosophy. We crank out the best free stuff in the fitness industry. We give it away daily for free in the Gym Owners United group, which you can join at gymownersunited.com. So if everything is freely available, why buy mentorship? The short answer is that knowledge is just part of the equation. You'll improve your gym much faster if you have a plan and someone to help you execute the plan. Today on Run a Profitable Gym, I'll talk to a gym owner who followed Two Brain for 6 years and then signed up for mentorship in 2023. He'll tell you why he made that decision. Aaron Scott owns CrossFit Structure in the UK. Aaron, welcome from across the pond. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for.
I am very excited to talk to you about this topic because I did the same thing as you. I had a pile of knowledge and I didn't know what to do with it. So let's get into it. Let's make it real for people. So can you compare gym metrics when you were using our free content to your metrics in the current period when you're working with a mentor? What has changed?
Yeah, so we pulled up the metrics. So the month before we started the mentorship, we are at 101 members. Our arm was 100 pounds. Our leg was 6.2, and then our revenue was 7,500 pounds a month. Looking at today, so we're at 115 members now. Our arm is at 140, leg is at 16, and our revenue now is at 15.2, so 15,220.
So these are significant increases, obviously.
Yes.
Like your average revenue per member, 40, was it 40 extra pounds you said?
Yeah, another 40 pounds a month.
Wow. And length of engagement, did I get it right? Is it like 10 extra months?
Yeah, so it was 6.2 and we're at now 16 and constant months.
So you're holding every member for 10 months longer and earning 40 extra pounds per month as a result of that. Like that's a big snowball rolling downhill.
Yeah, it made a massive impact joining Two Brain. Like pretty much from the off, like I think within the first 3 months, I mean, like you guys advertise, you make all your money back, and we did that and more.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm fired up about that because I did the same thing where I was struggling. In fact, I was losing money, right? And then I started getting help and everything complete U-turn turned around. So let's dig into it and let's help people. So listeners, you have the data. That's real gym owner, real story, real numbers. That's what happened. Let's talk about, what you were doing before that and all the other stuff. So 2023, years of watching and learning, what made you finally pull the trigger on mentorship? What problems were you trying to solve?
So we were just coming off the back end. So the metrics I gave you there was just after we had let go of one of our weak clients in the gym. Mm-hmm. Follow suit of that, we had about another 15 to 20 members go. And I mean, it ended up being the best thing we ever did, but it was hard times financially.
It hurts.
Yeah. So I was trying to figure out, or we were trying to figure out who we wanted in the gym and who we didn't want, we knew now. But then it was just figuring out how to actually run a gym. Like I knew how to coach. I've been doing that for years, trying to be the best coach I could, but that didn't really matter if I was so tired that I couldn't really coach that well. So,
yeah, I made the same mistake. And you think you're going to be a great coach, and that's going to make you a great business owner because everyone's going to love your coaching. But somehow the business doesn't grow on its own because you're a bad business owner. And that's exactly what I was. I could teach, fitness pretty well, knew nothing about business, and I was in deep trouble. So you had some members, you had to pull a weed essentially, and you had some members leave. So you're in a bit of a downturn at that point. Was that correct? But still a good decision, but kind of a low point?
Yeah, that was definitely a low point. Yeah, that was probably our biggest low point that we've had. It was so scary at the time, especially because you do that and you expect to come into the gym the next day and you expect all this kind of backlash after of it. But I think that's where we figured out who we actually wanted in the gym, because as soon as we did that, what I actually walked into the next day was like, oh, actually, thank you for doing that. There was a lot of appreciation for it. So yeah, it actually gave us a lot of freedom to make the right choices because we weren't as nervous and scared to do that anymore.
So in a low point when you're in a storm and you're dealing with the fallout after getting rid of a weed client, why did you pull the trigger? Like, what made you say, I'm going to sign up for mentorship at this point? Was it an obvious thing, or what was the thought process?
So I remember reading two brain stuff for years, and I just never really been able to implement it. So I'd seen it, and it was just I needed someone to hold me accountable because I'd seen all the stuff and I knew what I should be doing. Um, but I would try things and it just wouldn't stick, or
Mm-hmm.
on my side, I just wouldn't make it stick. And there's just no one there to hold me accountable. So,
Yeah. And when I was looking for people in our client group to talk about this topic, I put up a post and I got a bunch of responses and asked who looked at two brain content for a long time before getting help and jumping in. And a number of people, I think the longest person on that thread, I think was like 12 or 13 years or something ridiculous, where they just looked at stuff forever and then finally jumped in. 6 years, and I was similar. I looked at Coop stuff. We worked together way back in the day, so I always knew what he was doing. I was looking at his stuff, but it took me a while to get into it. So in the 6 years that you're looking at the content, were you able to implement any of the stuff, or just didn't quite stick, as you said, or how did that go with that in that 6 year period?
no, I actually went completely the opposite way. I felt like I read it and then just for some reason ignored all of it and did all
Yeah.
the wrong mistakes. So, well, my wife and I actually tried to start up a gym before this one, probably about 6, 7 years ago when I first started reading all the two brain stuff, and it didn't work out.
Mhm.
Uh, Put a lot of money into it. We didn't even get the doors open, and just made every mistake you could.
Mhm.
So that's why I knew a year into us owning this gym, I was like, I just didn't want it to end up another failure. So I was like,
Yeah.
whatever we needed to do, I just didn't want to fail again.
Yeah. And that's the double-edged sword of producing content. So we produce all sorts of stuff. And as I said in the intro, Chris has the philosophy of no gym left behind. So if a gym can't afford mentorship, we still want to help them and give them stuff. But because we don't know who's out there, we can't say this is the exact thing we need to produce for that one gym owner. We can only kind of carpet bomb and say, this is very helpful. Put it out to the world. And what happens is you get this massive pile of stuff and people try to sort through it, but they can't on their own. And if the other side of it is, if one gym owner reads that one right article and takes action on something and saves something, like, for example, how to raise rates, that's an incredible life-changing thing that can work. So that's why we put out that stuff, because there are people out there that are using this stuff. But the other thing that happens is exactly what you said, where you have this stuff and you don't know exactly where to start, and you maybe get overwhelmed and you start saying, I'm not sure what to do. And if you do some stuff, it might be in the right order and so forth. So let's talk about the other side of it. So 2023, you sign up, you've been following for 6 years, and you've got this pile of stuff that you haven't really worked on. What do you notice right away when you start working with a mentor? What happens?
It was pretty scary because we had to make a lot of changes, and
Yeah.
it was all for the good though. Within, like I said, within that first 3 months, we made all the money back that we spent on the course, the ramp up course, and it was more just getting over the nerves of raising prices, things like that, and a lot of the back end systems that I just didn't even really think of.
Mm-hmm.
Until we had someone there. So Lisa now, Lisa Palmer is
Mm-hmm.
our mentor, and yeah, she's been great. I think that was a big thing for us as well. Like, we were told, because it was an American company and we're here in the UK, that it wouldn't work as well. And then we got put with Lisa, and she just shows that it does work. It works just as here, or just as well here as it does in the States or anywhere else.
Yeah,
So,
there are small tweaks here and there that are a little bit different from region to region and so forth. Like rent costs might be different in Las Vegas versus some other place, and like different things like that. And then ad costs might be different or whatever. But by and large, the principles work. And we've seen this around the world because there are two brain gyms all over the world. By and large, things work. It's just the order of how they're applied and maybe small regional variations. And that's why we have mentors scattered all over the world who can help with that. And Lisa Palmer, she's fantastic, right? Like, she is a boss. She runs our Tinker program as well. And I've seen her in action. She's pretty like, do this thing right now. Did that work for you?
yeah, that's actually a meeting with, before we actually had Lisa, with, I can't remember her name, but she pretty much put us with Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in that interview, she's like, "Yeah, you guys will suit Lisa." But I think I needed that. I think my wife and I both needed that. Someone, well, I mean, like I said, I just wasn't being held accountable, and Lisa can definitely do that. Well, and it worked.
Yeah, as entrepreneurs, we kind of almost want to do it our own way a lot of the time. But I find that when I have that option, I sometimes don't do the stuff that really moves the needle. And I'm avoiding things. Like, I'll be honest, sometimes I just avoid the hard stuff. Like raising rates was a really hard one. I avoided that for, I want to say 5 or 6 years. I literally put the rate increase in our software. I didn't pull the trigger for like 5 years until a mentor helped me do it. And I probably lost $100,000 in that 5 year period, if not more. So that's a personal example of how I didn't take action. Do you have anything like that? Do you have something that you were putting off that Lisa was like, you need to do this?
Um, I think it was mainly pricing. So it was
Yeah.
pricing at
It's
pretty much every point. So our onboarding, we had an onboarding which I learned from Two
mhm.
Brain, and we did implement. It was just very cheap. So I think we raised that pretty much straight away. That's where we made most of the money back. Actually, was actually putting that onboarding system in and making it better, putting more value in it, so we could charge more as well. And it made it better for the client that was coming in. They got way more value out of what we were doing then.
Yeah.
Um, that was probably our biggest point, was around the pricing and all the back end systems, like checking in with people, like the goal reviews. Like, we weren't really doing any of that, and that's why our churn rate was super high at the time. So putting all that in place as well has made a big difference.
And then, of course, you get the 40 pounds extra ARM, average revenue per member per month. And then you've got huge length of engagement. So, like, this stuff all started to change and it made huge results. Uh, our initial program, listeners, if you're thinking about it, is designed to get you quick results, quick wins, exactly like that. Where it's like, we want you to pay for the program and start seeing results fast. And then eventually, once you get through that period, we're going to start backfilling lots of systems and doing some other work that's not, you're not going to see, essentially, like staff playbooks and things like that. But the beginning period is really to ramp up, get you wins, maybe fix some pricing, create and sell high value services, do some things that are going to put you in a spot where you have a little bit of time to then build out all the other stuff that you need to run a business. And then after that, we get into the growth phase where you start targeting all these specific things and metrics and bumping them all up. And then eventually, when you're earning about $100,000 a year from your gym and it's very solid, that's what we call the tinker stage. And you are going to start thinking about what's next. And that's a super exciting time where you can start thinking about opening a second gym, maybe doubling the location size of this location, maybe investing in real estate, whatever it might be. There are resources available for that. So that initial period, you start working through stuff. Talk to me about the rate increase thing, because that's a terrifying thing if you're out there on your own. But Two Brain has a plan, and it's like spreadsheets, math, lists of who might leave, who won't leave, that kind of thing. And you do all these different calculations. Then you pull the trigger. It's super scary. With the help of a mentor, was it easier? And what happened to your membership? Like, did you lose all your members?
No, no, it was fully fine. Like, we've done it, I think 3 times in now since we've been in Two Brain, and yeah, it's been fine every time. You kind of expect, well, this last time we knew what was coming. Like, it was surprising the first time we did it, and the plan that Two Brain had, that you can put in place, like how detailed it is, like all the emails, like everything that goes out. It's all this, like, you're a month or more ahead of this price increase, and letting people and showing the value that you have in the gym, and people don't even question it, and it's been fun every time we've done.
And you said you had 100 members before, you're at about 115 now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's 15 extra members paying $40 or 40 pounds extra per month and staying an extra 10 months. Like, that's massive. Like, that is just that it's like a force multiplier where all these things come together, and all of a sudden your revenue goes up, and then your profit goes up, your net owner benefit goes up, your lifestyle's better, you get home to see your kids. Like, the whole thing is kind of a great thing. And you sent me a picture before the show. Is that you and your kids in the school bus?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Do you get
But
to
that,
see them more now?
yeah, exactly. And that was probably one of the big reasons of us doing the mentorship as well. Is like, my wife pulled me aside, and it's happened a few times. Is like, I just get very into the gym, and like, I won't hardly see the family at all for like weeks at a time. And she was getting to the point where she was pulling me aside and like, we haven't seen you. Like, and even when I am at home, I'm so tired that I have nothing to give. Um, so yeah, that was a big reason we wanted to make the change. Is like, I just had nothing left, like, at the gym or at home.
So lifestyle's improved now.
Oh, massively, yeah, yeah.
That's great.
We can actually take vacations, which is nice. But I think we can even, like, I think people here at the gym also, they get more help as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like, they're paying more, but they're also getting the results they wanted. Whereas before, um, a lot of there was so many things going on. Like, a lot of people would leave so quick, whether it be like through injuries, or they had like their goals didn't align with what we thought they were. Um, And with the goal reviews and things like that, now that we have all the systems on the back end in place, like we can keep a track of whether there's actually progress, if there is anything going on, even if it's in the personal life, we know what's happening. It's just making sure all that's dialed in all the time, and you can't really pull your foot off the pedal.
Mm-hmm. Do you mind sharing what Lisa has you working on right now? So what is your current focus?
Biggest focus at the minute was actually two of my coaches are away, and I'm going to be taking quite a few of the hours. So what we were looking to do is try to push towards that tinker, like we're getting close. Mm-hmm. So we're a bit of a push towards that. But what we're actually doing right now is we need to, so I don't completely wreck myself because I'll be taking some of the hours, is we're actually holding still. So I actually came in with like, I want to try this out and try to bump it up a little bit more. But then, Lisa was actually saying let's get through this next month, slow down a little bit, make sure you're not going to completely burn out and, save it. We have time, like play the long game and don't go backwards.
And that's exactly it. Sometimes you need a mentor to say, hey, don't do that thing, because I'm the same way where I would, I can handle 18-hour days and I'm going to keep plowing, and all of a sudden you can't. Your clients notice you're upset, you're yelling at people, they all leave, and you're back where you started. Whereas if you say, hey, just slow down here, let's weather the storm here, and then let's target the next thing, we go from there. What was the previous thing before this period? So in the previous period, what's the most significant thing you've accomplished, say, in the last 3 months with Lisa's help?
I think goal reviews have been the biggest one, because we weren't really doing them. And again, that's just where we've seen the biggest progress in the gym, and for us and clients, that's probably been the biggest thing, is actually setting a system for goal reviews.
Yeah. And we've seen, our data shows that when you start using goal reviews, listeners, you're going to see your length of engagement increase, because you're having that regular content. You know what your clients want to accomplish, and then you can prescribe to them the stuff that's going to help them accomplish those goals. That prescription is going to raise your ARM, because you are saying, hey, dude, you need to do some personal training in addition to this, or maybe nutrition coaching or habits coaching or whatever. ARM goes up, which means revenue goes up. And then it's the daisy chain where profit goes up, net owner benefit goes up, happiness goes up, and it's a beautiful thing. So goal reviews, if you take nothing from this podcast, if this is the free thing you're listening to today, take a look at goal reviews. Take one member and book them for a goal review session, talk to them about what they want to do and tell them how to accomplish it, then do the next one. That is a big one that you can take from this today. Aaron, do you mind, I want to repeat listeners in case they forgot the numbers, do you mind telling me the stats again from the opening part of this show that you get listed for me? You had clients, ARM, length of engagement, and profit. Can you rattle that off one more time so they know what you're all about?
Yeah, so our starting was 101 members, 100 ARM. Our leg was 6.2, and revenue for the month was 7,500. And now 115 for members, ARM is 140, leg is 16, and revenue 15,220.
That is the difference. That is an inflection point, obviously, and the data, listeners, right from ground zero, that is what can happen. So, Aaron, I got to ask you this question as we close this guy out. What is the best way for a listener to use our free resources, and when is it time to take the next step?
I would say just have a plan on actually acting on what you're reading. That was the biggest mistake I made. Was I would read a lot but wouldn't put anything into action. There was no plan to put anything into action. And from there, just start with two brain as soon as you can. If I would have started with two brain that first year, there would have been a lot less kind of pain in that first year of opening up. It would have been way easier.
I love it. And to help out, so you've given them the recommendation. I'm going to give them the resource. I'm going to put a link in the show notes. It is to the prescriptive model, listeners. If you want to look at something today and take action on it, it is this central reading. The prescriptive model will tell you exactly how to connect with members, find out what they need, prescribe the solution to their problems, and help them. And it's a whole cyclical thing. Chris Cooper has laid this thing out in total detail. If you take action on this one free thing, I guarantee that your revenue and your average revenue per member and your profit are going to go up. And then at that point, I would encourage you to book a call to talk to a two-brain mentor to find out what's next and how you can get further, because Aaron did this, had a big hockey stick where his revenue all went up, everything went up. And now he's looking at that tinker stage. How far away do you think you are from that next stage where you can really start playing?
We're hoping in the next few months. That's the goal.
So this is it. Tinker stage, very exciting. This is when you're making about $100,000 a year from your gym. It's stable, solid, and now you're thinking about what's next. And this as an entrepreneur is probably the most exciting thing you can possibly do. So I'll leave that with you listeners as a long-term goal. Aaron, thank you so much for sharing your time with us and the metrics. Congratulations on the success. Thanks for taking action and showing us what's possible.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
That was Aaron Scott. This is Run a Profitable Gym. I'm your host, Mike Workin, and thank you so much for watching and listening. Please hit subscribe wherever you are with my thanks.